This webinar is going to cover everything you need to know on how to create your booking calendar within GreenRope. My name is Madison Potter. I'm the Digital Marketing Specialist at GreenRope, and I'll be walking you through everything that you need to know to create time slots, share with your clients, and help get bookings connected to your Google Calendar and how to set that up. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to my team or myself over at support@greenrope.com. Also, you can follow us on Instagram if you choose to kind of keep engaged with our business and what's happening next. So in terms of the setting up the booking calendar, what we are going to cover today is going to be the different calendar options that you have. And this includes the event types that you are creating. What are you creating this event for, and what kind of appointment slots you want to set up. We're going to some benefits of why you want to set it up, which is directly connected and integrated with your CRM. We'll walk through activating this calendar as well as setting up the default settings. So when you are creating your time slots and appointment slots that we will be walking through together, you have all this back-end information, which really helps streamline the process and continuing your booking calendar moving forward. I'll also be showing you how to share this calendar with your clients and team, as well as integration options, for example, your Google Calendar or iCal, setting up those connections so that this booking calendar is working on all the different areas that you use to manage your day-to-day appointments and tracking. And then at the end, I'll answer any questions that you have. And if you are watching this as a recording, please feel free to reach out to our team and we'll be happy to help you in any way that we can. So let's get started. First, we want to talk about the different calendar types. So who are you setting up this calendar for? For example, you're using this calendar to acquire new leads. In that case, you'll want to create scheduling demos, appointments, or anything that would gently bring the new leads into your system, as well as making that personal connection with your leads and clients that you are scheduling appointments for. If it's for client support, for example, you can have specific support hours or schedule client meetings through your booking calendar. Or if you are a university or consists of office hours, this would work as well, that students can schedule time to meet with you and answer any questions you have. You can also use it for coordinating your team. So you can schedule meetings, you can plan trips or outings around other people's availability and get buy-in from different team members on different meetings or appointments, time slots that are going to work best. And a last example that you could use is an onboarding and training. So you can schedule sessions with your clients to help bring them on board or teach them information through courses or seminars that you're hosting. And so there are many options of how you want to go about setting up these booking appointments and calendars. But just keep in mind these are some example or big areas that you might want to consider when setting up your event types. So now that you understand, what are you creating this booking calendar for, you want to think about some options when you're creating these time slots. So what I mean by that, event types are the appointment categories that you want to create. Is it for scheduling a demo or for office hours or onboarding? You can also think about what information you're wanting to request from your clients that are going to register. Do they need to upload any documents or review any information, or just kind of giving them some comments or descriptions about the upcoming calendar appointment, or even instructions on what to do moving forward or to prepare. And this will also help if you have a cost or fee associated, you'll be able to schedule that when requesting the time slots. Duration is how long you want these appointments to last or these events to last. So we will walk through creating default time slots, and that will just help block out those anointed times that you're wanting to set aside for meeting with your clients' team members. And this helps when scheduling calendars. It kind of eliminates that back and forth and just kind of giving an overview on how much time to expect from both parties. And the duration is important to keep in mind because everyone is really busy working with what they're doing. And the duration that you set up, let's say 30 minutes, that's going to block out 30 minutes of your time and their time to this appointment that is getting scheduled. And then just having the duration just streamlines the list of appointments available. So what that means is, let's say you have office hours from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Each office hour is about 30 to 45 minutes. And you can schedule that so it'll just fill up your calendar with those different appointment time slots. You also want to keep into consideration with this is how much time between time slots you'll need to prepare for the upcoming appointments. So we'll walk through that together, but just keep in mind how long the appointment is, how long you need to prepare for the appointment beforehand, and that will help with scheduling your blocks of time. And then thirdly, once they have scheduled a time that they want to meet with you, you need to notify someone on your team, which is generally called the booking manager, how we refer to them. And this is through sending them an alert as soon as somebody books. You can create a CRM activity for them to follow up with the client to kind of continue that engagement. There's also email reminders you can set up right through the booking calendar settings. Pretty common one would be 24 hours before the appointment, and then another email reminder an hour before the appointment. And then setting up that calendar connection would just open up that communication between your GreenRope booking calendar and any external calendar that you use when scheduling your daily tasks outside of the CRM. So setting up that calendar connection is just important to open up that communication and make sure that no appointments are slipping through the cracks. So those are the big three things when setting up your time slots. Some benefits of the booking calendar, especially when it's integrated into your CRM, is important because when you think of CRM or email marketing or automation, a lot of people generally go to streamlining their processes. And that's important. You do want to streamline your processes to help open up that time that you can work on something else. But in terms of booking calendar especially, you want to think about using this technology to enhance the human interaction. Time is really important, especially in business and what you're working on. And so by having a booking calendar, it just takes away that back and forth communication that is needed to find a time that works best. It opens up that communication by setting up those email reminders, the automated responses. So all those little automated pieces, you want to keep in mind that at the end of the day, you're doing this to enhance the human interaction and experience from the client's end with your business. So in terms of creating your CRM that's connected to the booking calendar, we're going to help you save time, and by opening up this communication between your team, the clients, and just kind of getting everybody and streamline as much of that as we can. And by setting up those immediate follow-ups, the thank you email, the Google Calendar setting up, it just builds trust to your business that you have processes set up that helps move the client along. And this also increases your sales engagement. So sales engagement is measured both in the timeliness it is to respond to your clients, as well as their experience with your team at each touch point. And so by having a booking calendar that your client or potential lead can go in and schedule with your business, it helps to streamline that exponentially to help move that down the process more often and at a more timely manner. And as well as doing that, it also real-time updates their CRM records. So if it is a new lead, you can gently pull them into the system that way by having them request to meet with you. Otherwise, if they are in your CRM already, this will just update their record. It'll add the information to the calendars, it'll send email notifications. And so by using something that's already integrated with your CRM, the system is going to know all those different connections and just kind of continuously update that within the system. Just an overview of the setup process that we're going to work through together, which to help streamline that sales engagement, would be to first, what we're going to do when we build out the calendar within GreenRope is first we're going to find a specific group to manage this calendar, and then we're going to activate the calendar for the group. So you can have unlimited groups within your GreenRope account, and you can also have a booking calendar in each specific group. So for example, if you are doing this for a sales follow-up, each of the sales reps can set up their own booking calendar time slots for their specific group. That way, all the clients that are directed through your sales rep can schedule appointments with your person and just kind of manage their booking calendar specifically. We'll walk through setting up the default settings and all the different options you have to increase those follow-ups and that automation and just really streamline the different event types that you are looking to create. And then we'll walk through actually scheduling those time slots and setting up the availability within your system. So let's get into GreenRope and I'll show you how we're going to build that out. So within your GreenRope account, first thing you want to do is to create a new group that you want to house this calendar in. So let's go into the group settings, and you can create a new group by going over to the actions and create group. You can name this group whatever you like, but for this, we're just going to call it the booking calendar group. And you can also save a template from a previous group if you are working that way. So once you create a new group, the page should reload and you will be within your booking calendar group that we just created. From there, the calendar is generally stored within the dropdown, and you can see that there is no booking calendar yet. So next thing, let's actually activate the booking calendar for this group. Go to settings, go to calendar, and this is basically where you're going to manage all that back-end information associated with this group calendar. So firstly, you can name the calendar whatever you like. By default, it is just the time range. And this is just for your reference on what the name of this calendar would be. And you will select appointment calendar availability and check to activate that. This will change the max attendees to 1, but you can schedule as many people you would like to have per booking appointment. Here is where you'll set up your custom URL that you will send to clients for them to access and use this system. You can also select how you want this to be viewed on the public's end. The different options is going to be either monthly, which is just a monthly overview of everything in the month going on. You can also select a weekly view. My preference is the list view, as I feel like it just takes out all that extra white space and shows them the available time slots. Appointment request times. This is associated with that in-between space that you want to allow yourself time to get ready for the next appointment. So once you, for example, when we had those 30-minute demos, let's say you need about a 10-minute break in between the next one, or 15 minutes, just to prepare and get ready for the next event, the next appointment time slot. So this just opens up that free time so you don't schedule yourself any overlapping. It gives you time just in case a meeting runs long. So this is where you would set up that little dead space for yourself. And you can also request a phone number if you just want to here. Default comments is just anything you want to let your client know about the booking appointment that they are selecting. It's any comments that you want to embed in there. And then the description or information is more details about the appointment itself. You know, it depends on what event type you're working with, but you can provide information here for your clients to just kind of get more of a background description of the event you're setting up. Step 1 Thank You URL. This is optional, and it will direct your clients towards a specific URL to tell them and confirm that their appointment has been made. And it can be anything within your GreenRope site or any URL that you want to direct your clients to once they've submitted a request for this appointment slot. Requiring approval for booking allows you to manage these approval requests that are coming in. You can either automatically create an appointment and just kind of accept everybody that's requesting to meet with you. You can set it up to approve the request before it becomes available, before it's taken off, but you can also reserve the spot until it's waiting approval. So that allows your end user not to double book or want to take the same time slot. So as soon as someone's requested, you will need to approve or deny for this appointment to move forward. Otherwise, you can always set it up to you have to approve every request. Approval emails, once you have approved that request, you can send the clients an email, a follow-up to confirm and thank them for selecting a time slot. So by default, there is a standard one set up here, but you can create a follow-up email to send out to your clients here as well. And then approval workflow. So once this booking calendar has been approved, you can set up any automation to happen. This is where I would suggest you schedule it with the booking calendar, the booking manager to follow up and reach out and continue this process naturally. This is where you'll notify them for that. Down here, you'll see the Google Calendar ID as well as the WebCal URL. And this is associated when you want to connect your two calendars. You'll add the information in here, and so anything in the booking calendar and the Google Calendar can start talking to each other right here. You want to then save the changes to make sure that, oh, that was from the URL. You want to save the changes to make sure that this booking calendar is now updated. The URL we entered earlier was actually already available, already in use, so we couldn't use it. So, but now if you hover over the calendar drop-down, you'll now see the booking is an option here. And that's where we will go and build out the actual time slots. Before we do that, let's talk about a couple more settings that you want to do. So the description tab is all the bigger settings that you want to set up in terms of the look and feel and time slots. Next, I would look into the event locations. Where do you want these events to be hosted or held, or where are you meeting? That would be set up here. For example, we have a Zoom meeting, or let's say you're hosting it on another, we have a go to webinars, if that's an option you wanted to do. You can also have the specific address, city, zip, state, all here. And this is going to populate on the client's calendar end as well. So once they've added it to their Google Calendar, this is the information that they're going to learn on where to find you and how to be a part of this event. So you would set up all that information here. If it is a specific link, go to webinar link, you would add that specific link right here. And that way, when it is added to their calendar, they can just click on this link that you've added and they will open up the webinar or the meeting link to join you. And then you can also have any notes. You can tell them, please arrive early, or any anything you want them to bring, just something super short and simple that you want them to populate on their calendar end. So this is all going to be in the calendar. So once you save that, you'll now go here and you can check all the options of what you're currently using for this group specifically. Make sure to just keep saving changes as you're moving between different tabs, just so you're not redoing any work. So now that we have our event locations and our default settings, let's talk about the event types that you're creating. So event types are basically those categories of the appointment slots and themes that you're building. For example, we have meeting, conferences, seminars. A lot of these come default by the group, which you can use and manage. But we can always create a new one. So we're going to schedule a demo to go through our product. The default location would be that event locations we have just activated. So we're going to do it through a GoToWebinar link we'll send to them. And each demo is going to be 45 minutes long. We're going to have one person attend. You can set, if you set this to 0, that just means unlimited. So it's open to however many people. And this will affect how many people can actually register with this time. So if you have one availability, once that a time slot is taken, it will kind of be removed from your available and people won't be able to select it or see it moving forward. You can associate event fee if you could charge for the event that you're creating. And you can also have a color associated with it for reference throughout the system here. I like to set the reminder emails just to the confirmed attendees. So once everyone has affirmed, you can send a reminder to notify them that the event is coming available or is happening in an hour, and just kind of keep that moving. So once you've created the different event types, you can hover over the actions and save the changes here. And that's all for the settings. You can also upload, add, or export any of these in mass. But for the purposes of this, I would suggest that you just walk through creating your settings. Where do you want the events or appointments to be held? And then also the types of appointments you are wanting to use. So once that is done, let's actually go into the calendar itself and set up those appointment time slots. So now if you hover over the calendar dropdown, you'll see that booking is a new tab that we have activated here. By default, it's just going to show you the month view here. Here's your time zone of where all the timing is within. You can see a week view. In the week view, you'll see how the lighter spaces are usually more business hours, whereas the little grayed around is associated with off business hours. That is just a visual aspect that we've added so you can visually see where your appointments lay. You can also have a daily view. It's orange now because we are in that day. And then you can also have a list and see a list view of all the appointments happening for that day. So let's go into the month, and we're going to create some example booking calendars, appointments. So let's say we're going to start on Monday. Let's select the time slot. You have different options here. You can have the this time slot for today only. You can have it today and tomorrow or for the next few days. You can also do it for day and the next few business days, which is associated with that white area. Monday through Friday, from that time here, would be the business days. Or we can just do it within weeks. So if you wanted to extend it out for today and the next 8 weeks, you can schedule that, which is great if you're working in like semesters, or if you're in a university and you wanted to do office hours or something like that, you can schedule out pretty far in advance. So we'll set it up for today and the next few days. We want to start our appointment time slots from 10 a.m. in the morning, and then we'll be done around 4 p.m. And again, this is based on your time zones scheduled for your account. Now you will select the type of event that you want. And here's us scheduling up the demos that we did built together, and it's green color coded. This is comments showing to the person that that is actually making the request. You can add any articles to this, which is basically anything you've saved within the media library that you want to share. You can do images for brand consistency. You can hyperlink information. So there's a few options you can do here to kind of give them more information on the comments. And then the descriptions or instructions is for once the appointment has been confirmed. This is additional information you want to share with your client or lead to help them prepare and get ready for the appointment that they have scheduled for. So again, you can set up articles, you can access the source code, you can kind of create a little mini document for them to understand what is expected now that the appointment is confirmed. So that's how you create a new time slot. Let's say we save and close this, and you'll see that for today and the next 2 days, we have different time slots available. If you want to see that in the list view, you can add it right here. So you would continue to create these as you move down, and to share with contacts. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of this here, you can, one more thing, you can also just drag and drop. So let's say something happened or you wanted to move this around, you can drag that into a different section and kind of continue to manage your groups in that way. So at the bottom of your calendar, there's a few different options you have here. This is a direct link to make this calendar available. You can set up, remember, that custom URL within the calendar settings. Otherwise, this is the default URL that is associated with this calendar. You can update the language by appending the language. So let's say if you're working in German or Spanish or any of those, you would just add this to the end of the URL. And this just helps if you're working with diverse clients or wherever you want to update the language to. By default, the calendar will appear in monthly view. We did adjust the group settings to show a list view for contacts, but you can also do this by adding this into the bottom of the URL. And then, so if you wanted to add this into a landing page on your website, you would go here and select the iframe and copy this right here, which will show this calendar on display on your main website. So the iframe is great if you wanted to have this visible. Otherwise, you can share it via a link over here. And so that's about the appointment time slots, just to kind of create them and go through the settings. Let's go back into our slides and I'll show you what the clients will see on their end. Here. So once you've built out those time slots, this is what will appear on our landing page when clients are coming to request a demo for us, for example. Of course, this can be whatever you'd like. But if the lead is ready to schedule a demo of our product, we have it set up that based on certain criteria, contacts are shown a different demo calendar. So for example, they might be in different time zones or looking for different aspects of the platform or system. That way they are moved to a different booking calendar within the sales reps group based on a couple criterias. One of them, for example, would be the time zone. So the default time zone for this group in particular is going to be seen right here, but it can also be adjusted from the drop down. So even though contacts land on here by default because they land in our time zone, we want to show you that time zone calendar. They can also adjust it over here. Next, you can adjust the view on the right side here. Currently, we are seeing the list view, which just shows the available appointments. You can also show the monthly and weekly here as well. I like this view because as soon as somebody clicks to take an appointment from us, so for example, someone wants to schedule for May 8th at 2:30 p.m. Once they click, and go through the process to take this appointment, it'll actually just get removed from the list of availability. So once they click on that, they will get a little pop-up here, which asks them to add additional information before they confirm their request. The request here in the drop-down is basically the available booking types that we have created. So right now it's just the demo, but let's say you might have different appointment types or different career counselors or different anything, you can create the different types available here. They will then need to confirm the date, the time, and the time zone from the drop-down here. Any additional information that we want to request from our contacts will be right below that. In this case, it's just my name and the email address. And that is the basics of what we need to add new contacts into the system. So if you are adding brand new contacts into the system, for example, in lead generation, you will need to add the CAPTCHA. The security CAPTCHA just helps to validate that these are real email addresses and they are providing you information to be accessed into the system. And it also just eliminates any bots that are just trying to request appointments and take away your time that you would like to just have one extra security layer before that. And then they will move ahead and just confirm that request. Once then, they will get they will see that thank you URL that you send them to. And in our case, they will also receive an email confirmation. And since we have set up our Google Calendar invite, they will automatically get that to confirm in their email as well. So once the contact is redirected to the thank you page, they receive this email. And once they click yes to accept it on their end, and see, this means that it's adding that personal connection. You can see who I'm meeting with, where we're meeting, and all that other information here. So once you click to accept the information, it's going to add this into their Google Calendar or iCalendar. So the meeting details that we set up within the calendar setting is getting pulled into the Google Calendar here. And this includes the date, the time, the meeting link or location, and all that information can be seen right here. Also, since it is integrated, their CRM record inside GreenRope is also updated with this information. And now a follow-up activity for the sales rep is created for them to also get this in their calendar and make sure to follow up with the lead moving towards the meeting. I know we covered a lot of information, but let's just review just an overall on the steps that we took to get to that point. So first we defined a group where we wanted to build and manage and house this group booking calendar. Then we went into the calendar settings and activated this booking calendar as an option. And then we can assign a fee, the number of people per request. There's a few other options that we went to within the calendar settings. We then went into the event type and location. So we specified where these appointments are being held, as well as what different types of appointments we are looking to create. Then we jumped into the main calendar booking section and we created our availability on the main calendar, and we selected those open time slots and reference for how often we want contacts to be able to sign up with us. And then we connected the calendars through the Google Calendar or iCal to directly update each other with the most up-to-date and relevant information to make sure that your time is being well spent and no one slips through the cracks. And then lastly, we want to make sure that the booking manager has follow-up set up. So we can set up confirmation emails, notifications, or reminders to help continue this conversation naturally. Some automation options to consider when you are setting up your booking calendar for your business. Firstly, would just be setting up the reminder emails. So leading up to the appointment, if you have a pretty in-depth information on what you want the client to bring or prepare, you can send that up in a reminder email. You can also update contacts user fields with information, for example, the date that they requested to talk to you. There's also a list of placeholders that you can add into your emails, which will help iterate the time, location, or just kind of any information leading up to this appointment. A list of the date placeholders can be found within the help section. Otherwise, reach out to our team and we'll be happy to send it over as well. Secondly, you want to notify your team member that is associated with these booking calendars. You want to help continue that conversation in a healthy and natural way. And sending email notifications with contact details is a really simple way to get it right in front of their email inbox with the contacts information. You can add the CRM activity for them to follow up with the requested appointment. And then the reminder notifications can be set up to send immediately once the appointment has been set, 24 hours before the appointment, and then again an hour before the appointment. So these are simple notifications that are not invasive, but just kind of keep the appointment top of mind. And then last little bit of additional automation you can think of would be to either add or remove contacts from particular groups for management. You can update their contact information to keep it relevant and help with this appointment and leading up to it. Otherwise, you can start contacts on a journey to help segment them further to really identify their needs and what they would like out of this appointment and continue to build and gather this information. That is all we have today on the booking calendar. If you do have any questions during setup, please reach out to us. Our team is happy to help. You can reach us at support@greenrope.com. We also do have the help section as well as the guide me icon that would help walk you through step by step on how to build this booking calendar and share it with your clients and really help to manage that engagement and open the communication to help you convert more leads and all that. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.